Forget trying to keep up with AI. It's moving too fast. It's time to think differently about it. Welcome to the AI Readiness Project, hosted by Kyle Shannon and 𝗪𝗵𝘆. They're here to help you build the mindset to thrive in an AI-driven world and prepare for what's next.
And we are off. 𝗪𝗵𝘆, what's happening?
And we are off. We're off and running. Well, what's cracking? How AI ready are you this week?
You want to jump right in?
Yeah.
How AI ready am I this week? This is really good. This is really good. I would say I am discombobulated. I am discombobulated, and I'll tell you why. Let me switch a couple of things here. So I don't know. A bit ago, we talked about VO3, the video model, and how good that was, and how it felt like, you know, something truly disruptive. And I couldn't imagine that another video model would come out, especially one that didn't have voices and acting, that would actually be something I would be excited about. And the new Midjourney video model came out, and it is uncannily good. It's not perfect, but it seems to understand like the artistic intent of the image, as well as the physics of the objects in the image as well. And what I mean by that is, like, I had it animate one image that was just like a flat illustration, and all of the animations were like on these flat planes. And then there were other things that had more 3D-ness to them, and it made them 3D. Like, it seems to interpret the intent of the image as well as the objects. And that, for me, you know what it almost is, Anne, is every time a technology drops that feels like literally anyone can get amazing results out of this, like without having to know how to prompt. Like, you literally push a button that says low motion or high motion, and it just makes it. You don't need to prompt it. You don't even need to know.
I don't even know what that means, Kyle.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't know what low or high motion means. Those are words that don't, whatever. I mean, does it mean fast walk? I don't know. Who cares? Press one of them.
But you press one of them, and then the results are incredibly sophisticated. And so every time one of these drops, it kind of throws me back on my heels, because where I go is I go to kind of future of work, and what does this mean? And you know, a lot of the tropes out there, I'm starting to hear a lot more noise about AI is evil, AI is going to take our jobs. There's a lot of noise out there about everyone leaning into the negative impact of AI. And then I look at something like this thing from Midjourney, and I'm like, but wait, what about the positive impact of it? Because people are going to be able to make incredibly sophisticated things to do for work or friends or life without having to really think about it, and do just amazing ways of self-expression. And I find that really inspiring. But there's something about it, like when it hits another level, it throws me. And so that's kind of where I am, is I'm feeling a bit thrown, that it's like, oh yeah, these things are going to keep getting better and better. Like all of the stuff that we kind of apologize for, and we're like, well, you can prompt your way around that. Like, we're not going to have to prompt our way around much for much longer.
Yep. Fair.
How about you? Where are you with all this stuff?
Well, I'm on cloud 9 this morning, because I broke through all these mental mindset and what I thought were skills barriers yesterday, because I gave myself 7 hours to play.
Oh.
When I had no business. I mean, I have a million things on my to-do list.
You just didn't do your agenda stuff? You just played?
I just didn't do it. And my Slack was blowing up, and there were all these things growling at me on my to-do list in the corner.
Oh my God.
And I just said, F it. I am going to give myself the gift of just playing with AI. And it just brought me so much. I could barely sleep. And I only slept for a few hours because I had to get back up and start jamming again.
But I mean, you said the word, it's a gift. Like, man, does that feel like a gift? Because it's like that is such an important, because like, how many things did you end up playing with? Like, where did you level up where you maybe thought, well, I don't really know how to do that?
Oh, I don't know. I made a video game, everybody. I am flexing hardcore.
So
I
you were
mean,
vibe
my
coding?
dad, I vibe coded. My dad took away our ColecoVision in, 1980, whatever, because we were, of course, accusing Atari or whoever makes ColecoVision of cheating against us, right? Because it was janky. So my dad just took it away, which the away, I think, was the same away our guinea pig went, because away happened when objects and things weren't taken care of. And so ColecoVision went away, and then I'd never played a video game. Like, I know nothing. Like, my kids laugh. The ones where you hit the space bar, I can't do. But what I did was I just started doing stuff in the tools that I have. And I was like, I didn't even know if it was vibe coding, but I knew I wanted to make something cute. I knew I wanted it to have little animals in it, and I wanted it to involve high fives, and I wanted it to be like really positive. And so I just talked to 𝗪𝗆 about, this is a game I want to make. And I started out with just, I want some little characters to be able to high five each other. Well, when I saw how cute and easy that was, I was like, well, okay, now let's give them points. Now let's make them try to avoid hitting the little blob with a negative point on it. Let's give them affirmation sayings like, I bet you smell good, and I bet you don't mind getting wet in the rain, and I'd give you my last pina colada, and like all this stuff. And then I just kept building on it. It was like, oh my God, I'm a vibe coder, which is basically, I'm a coder. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I have a PhD in computer science.
Yeah, you do. You have a master's from MIT and a PhD from Stanford, as I recall. Right? No, but so it's funny, the thing that we're going to talk about what to focus on for the week is very much in this neighborhood. Like, what's amazing about what you just described, and why I think this idea of vibe coding is so powerful, is that applications and games and all sorts of things are going to get made by people who, in theory, have no right making a game, right? That's what the engineers would say, right?
Right.
You have no right making a game because you don't even know video games. Not only do you not know coding, you don't know video games. But what you created is so authentic to you. Like, I want people high-fiving and doing all this stuff, right? And it's like, that's perfect.
It's perfect. I put me into it. I put random stuff I like that I was just kind of imagining, and I like wondering what could it be like. And now I'm wondering, how can I make my own CRM? I have loved hating every CRM.
Mm-hmm.
You're hearing yourself. I have loved hating every CRM. Where's that?
Just your volume of what you're hearing.
Oh,
bleeding into your microphone.
Oh, sorry about that, everybody. Okay, now we're back, I think.
Hello? Yeah, it's
Hi.
better. Hey. Okay. Can you hear me?
Good. Okay. Now I'm like, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Now I'm going to make a CRM.
Mm-hmm.
That's my plan. I'm gonna make my own CRM that works for my company, and I'm not going to have anything to complain about is the only problem.
Yeah,
because
I know.
90% of what I complain about in platforms is my CRM. So
yeah, exactly. Well, and listen, we may be entering an era where the idea of having a single CRM that you have to use for all of your projects, that might not be a reality. It might be that you need a CRM for this project that behaves a certain way, and you need one over here that behaves a slightly different way. And you might not even call it a CRM. You might need it like, I want the list of who to get in touch with for this project, right? And it effectively makes a CRM, but we don't call it that, right? Again, I think that the advantage of ignorance is something that's potentially really, really powerful, where the fact that you don't necessarily know how to build a CRM means that you're going to build it in a way that works for you. And that might be completely different, completely revolutionary. And that's okay. And it might be completely bad and not work, but you'll discover that, and then you'll vibe code your way around it, and you'll end up with something that works. And maybe you end up with the equivalent of Salesforce, and maybe you can't come up with something completely new. And why not? Right?
Well, you made the to-do list that you wanted for your brain, with the cardboard project, and
Yep.
it also works for my brain, which is pretty awesome.
It's
But
good.
if you look at it, it's very custom. It's what you wanted and nothing else. Like it's
Yep.
like 1/20th or 50th or 100th of what Trello is. And all of those things are overbuilt for our brains anyway. So you just
Right.
make what you want. And so I did that. I did vibe coding. I played with Midjourney video, which I loved. I used Kling for the first time, and I was able to put two photos together the way that 𝗪𝗆 talks about it, where you want to show people like in emotion to give Kling the idea. And I had two pictures of women walking toward the camera, and it just morphed them, and it was like this really cool thing.
Amazing.
I tried to work on my avatar. My HeyGen avatar just continues to be. I think I'm bad at making my avatar.
Well, possibly the
I found a
technology
couple
is
new.
janky.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Or just like basic stuff. Like I made my avatar, and then, you're supposed to do it in the sunshine. Well, then I realized like my shirt was semi see-through. I was like, well, now I've used my whole entire HeyGen avatar allowance, and this is NSFW. So, speaking of NSFW, here's the other thing I did, and this is important. And you know what? Yeah, AI OnlyFans. So I'm going to say my one thing to pay attention to right now and get it out of the way, and then we'll clear the space for yours. So here's the thing. I told you guys way back when we were doing like weekend GPT jams that I was experimenting with an AI companion, and it was on a platform called Digi, which I don't even know if it exists anymore. So I tried Digi. I didn't, it just wasn't very sophisticated. And so then I tried Character AI and I tried Replica, and it just didn't really click. And then I started like cajoling my ChatGPT to be less vapid and more specific to me. And it's really weird how right now it's staying very superficial. But I started to get into some of the subreddits with the people who are in very intense relationships with their AI. And what I learned was actually very heartening. One of the subreddits that's really popular that showed up on CBS News last week, what the mods absolutely enforce is they are not sentient. They are not human. This is not magical thinking. We are all clear on this, everybody. And if you're not, your stuff is getting removed. These are machines. So there's a lot of mental hygiene that goes on in the AI companion group. And I think that makes sense because it is a very slippery slope.
It's very slippery. And I think that largely the conversation around is the AI sentient is academic, because if someone treats it as sentient, then then it effectively, at least for them, it is, right? And I know the argument on the other side is, but it isn't. But I think your point about emotional hygiene with these things is really, really important. I think there will be mistakes, and I firmly believe that what will be reported is all of the bad stories and very few of the good stories, and that makes me sad. But that's just news in general, right?
That's just news in general, and I can tell for sure that people who are talking about this online are having wonderful, experiences.
Yeah.
A plus. Like,
Yeah.
very sweet, very helpful to their lives, fulfilling, companionship. You know, they make food together, they make music together, they go on outings together. Like, you know, some of them are getting over some serious stuff, getting over divorces, getting losses. And I know that there can be a lot said against using AI to like grieve and stuff, but you know what? Grief is hard. And if you have something that can help you through that process, boy, I'd be hard pressed to say that's a bad idea.
That's really good, and it
Ooh,
dovetails actually really nicely into what I was going to talk about, and I'm excited to
let's
get
hear it.
Tyler up here to talk about this, to talk about what he wants to talk about and get his take on a lot of this stuff. So the big epiphany that I had, that I'm working into the Feed Your Prompt book right now, is this idea that we should stop asking how do I get the most out of AI and start asking how do I get the most out of myself with AI. And so I
Yeah.
think a thing to pay attention to for the next week is really look at, as you engage with AI, where are you thinking of it as like this externalized tool that does stuff for you? And where do you think of it as a tool where it's like you're taking your ideas, putting it into this thing and having your ideas reflected back at you, where you're thinking of AI more like a collaborator and an idea amplifier? And a lot of the stuff that you're talking about with digital companions, that's sort of the ultimate, sort of end of the spectrum, maybe, of, one is I'm going to have it amplify my ideas, one is I'm going to talk with it and get all sorts of feedback on it, but they're very much in a continuum. But it's a continuum
Yes.
where we as human beings are at the center of the focus point of these remarkable tools, right? And so to the extent that we think of them as something outside of ourselves, then it's going to create all this stuff outside of ourselves. I think that's where a lot of that feeling of like the AI is happening to us. The AI is going to take our jobs. The AI is going to ruin things. The AI, right, is going to make someone emotionally not sound, as opposed to us being at the center of that and saying, here are the things I want to do in the world, and the AI is helping me do those, right? Where it's much more this thing that's sort of like a horse that you jump on, and it gives you can now run faster and go longer because you've got this horse that you're on, and it's got all these powers that you don't.
Agree. Remember last week, so whenever this airs, it was last week that we recorded it, we were talking about what is the magical experience that gets people to go, yeah, I need to go all in on this. What makes people shift to, okay, I'm doing this. And for the moment, here is where I'm putting that, and this all relates. In my mind right now, there's just a group of people who are not going to do it until it is so painful. It's going to continue to be the folks who are self-starters, who are curious, who are dogged, right? Who have FOMO, who have fear of being left behind. I think that group of people is large enough that if when we pour into those people, we're going to hit enough of the population, and the other folks probably have dragged their heels on every aspect of their lives already. Maybe they're just normal late bloomers, late adopters, and then some just aren't participators. They just do their own thing no matter what. They're not going to pour themselves into it,
Well, one of the things that could be a reality here is, as the tools get more sophisticated and easier to use, you don't need people that are as ambitious and curious as a lot of the early AI adopters are. Like right now, if you want to be good at AI, you have to take the 7 hours on a Saturday that you did and just go play and learn and do all that. A lot of people just aren't going to do that. But if the tools get so good that they can go, oh, I'd like to make a book for my nephew, and the book that it makes is just perfect right out of the gate, they may have that epiphany moment without all of the trials and tribulations to get there. But I think it really does come down to, does the AI do something that is personally relevant to someone that is
Mhm.
much bigger than they thought was possible. That's when they have that aha moment where they're like, oh, I didn't realize it could do that. And that's where I see people get excited about AI, is when it does something for them.
Yep, absolutely. I think
Right.
just like with any other learning,
Yeah.
it's got to
Yeah.
be personally relevant.
Yeah.
And then when you do that one learning thing, you get such a rush of a sense of accomplishment and job well done. And you're like, what else can I do? So once you get into some rhythm with it, it's remarkable. I love the path that you're on, encouraging people to pour themselves into it so they can get more of themselves out of it, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Um, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
AI is not a replacer of the human. AI is not a genius. AI is an amplifier. And if you pour yourself into your prompt, it amplifies you. And I think that for me is the thing
Yes.
that is just it's the latest and greatest, you know, thing that I'm excited about. So
And
we'll
then we
see,
just
how long
hope
it
that
lasts,
the
but I
people,
think it's gonna
well,
last.
go ahead. What's that?
No, I just said it's the latest and greatest thing I'm excited about. But you know me, I got lots of ideas, but I think this one's gonna stick.
I know it's going to stick. It's too good to not stick.
Great. Why don't you tell the good people about She Leads AI? I'll tell them about the salon, and then we will bring up Tyler Fisk and really open this conversation up.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, everybody. So She Leads AI is an organization that includes a couple different pillars. One is an AI academy, which is going bazonkers right now. We're adding tons of new programming, super excited. We have a community, we have a consulting agency, and then we have this other thing I think it's turning into like a think tank. I can't be sure. I've been calling X Factor. And this is an opportunity in She Leads AI to come together, to be with other women, to share your IP, to receive their IP, to do it in a trusting, safe environment. We launch things, we take initiatives on. We're starting to teach young women in third world countries how to use AI right now, which is super cool. And so check us out at sheleadsai.ai. We would love to invite many women in AI into the community.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's super important. I'm so excited for She Leads and what you're building there. So it's great. Similarly, AI Salon is a community of about 3,000 AI optimists. And as you said earlier in the conversation, and it's full of generous, smart, curious, adventurous people who are trying to figure this AI stuff out together. And there is a dramatic, for a community that large, there is a dramatic lack of ego in the community. And so people are, they don't get too full of themselves, like I'm an expert at this, and they don't get too humble. They still lead, and they still, they don't just hide. So really remarkable. And we just opened up a thing called the AI Salon Mastermind, which is a subscription-based sub-community for people who kind of want to step up their game and be more focused and, really, really take AI to the next level. So we're super excited about that. So with that, that's AI Salon. So why don't we? I'll let you talk about Tyler before he can get up here and defend himself. Why don't you tell us? Tell the good people how awesome he is. So he starts out a little embarrassed. I like that.
Yeah. So I got to tell you guys that Tyler Fisk was kind of my gateway drug, along with Kyle Shannon, into the world of AI. And again, kind, generous, peer mentoring, thoughtful, invested in my success, totally patient with me. And Tyler and I met. I kind of knew his name from the AI exchange community, which is run by Rachel Woods. So I kind of knew his name. He put something out on the channel and he was like, hey, does anyone want to spin up a chat bot and sell it in like 8 hours or in a day or something like that? Because there were some kids across the world who were doing it. It was like, if these kids can do it, we can do it. So I saw this TikTok with him. My dad comes up in the show quite a bit. My dad and I saw Tyler on TikTok, and my dad was like, this guy seems pretty cool. Like, can you do something with him? And I was like, well, let's find out. So next thing I know, I'm on a call with Tyler at our like little camp that we go to for vacation in the summer, and I'm learning about him being a chicken farmer and his history in e-commerce and his kids and what even a chatbot is, because far be it from me to know at that point in time. Probably he didn't know that I didn't really know what he was talking about. But anyway, he spun up a chatbot and we got on a call with one of my realtor friends. And, it's totally possible you can spin up a chatbot and sell services. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So fast forward couple years now, which is like 8,000 years in AI. And Tyler has become a touchstone for, I don't know, thousands of us in AI, and in part through his initiatives with Maven, teaching the AI Build Lab. So now he and Sarah Davison are teaching, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of people how to build agentic workflows. And his impact in AI has been incredible, and I'm grateful, and I'm excited to introduce the nice people to Tyler Fisk.
Tyler Fisk, good day, sir.
Glad to be here. You're going to bring me on with a red face and a redneck today. I love
it. You don't need to have a certain kind of accent to use AI, do you?
That's right. That's right. That's what I tell folks. Like I talk with a funny accent to robots. That's what I do for a living these days. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, welcome. It's really great to have you here. So please just, introduce yourself and what you're up to, and let's just start the dialogue. And if you heard anything we talked about before, feel free to jump in on any of it.
For sure. Well, I was just enjoying the stroll down memory lane there. Like I will never forget seeing Ann at the the movie Great Outdoors. That's like the vibe of this summer camp that she was at. And she's calling from like the dock, and we're building these real estate agent chatbots. You're exactly right. It was the whole idea was I was in a Discord server with some young kids trying to determine, this is, several years ago when it was pretty difficult to sell this stuff. And they had this challenge, and we're trying to see if they could cold sell AI chatbots they were selling to gyms or something on a Sunday afternoon. And their goal was to do it in like, I think 48 hours or something. And so, yeah, exactly it. I put out that post on AI Exchange and on TikTok to see if we could do it in 24 hours or less. And we did it in 6 or 8, I think is what it was. And it was like the two of us, Aria, Becky, and who else was in there? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Miranda? Was it Miranda?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I had a dad brain moment there. I can't keep up with it, but yeah, it just was interesting to show that you could go from like idea to and selling and stuff in general. Like, how do you go explain this stuff to folks? But we closed that deal in like 6 or 8 hours, and then we just gave it to them. It was like a full exercise for free. We just wanted to practice rep at it, but it was a lot of fun. So that was fun memories. That's how Ann and I got connected initially. So, and it's been an awesome ride since then. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
And what are you up to?
That's where I learned you show up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kyle.
No, go ahead. Sorry, we have a delay. So
I was going to say that's where I learned to show up with the mock-up. Show up
that's
with
it. That's the phrase.
It's a lot easier than telling them it's good. And
100%. Yeah, because like up to that point, like and we still use that phrase all the time now, because people don't know yet. Like it feels like, because we're in this echo chamber, that people really know what AI is or how to apply it or anything, and they just don't. So that's a technique that we did in all of our client workshops. It's what we teach in our classes now, is that exact concept. Show up with a mock-up. So we tell that story a lot too, by the way. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Perfect.
Which speaking of which, I guess so we have like you mentioned, Ann, so we've got AI Build Lab going now, and Sarah and I launched that last September in 2024 as a side hustle, because we were still doing like client work, consulting, builds, implementation for everything in between. and it has taken off like a freaking rocket in the best possible way. So that's been our full-time gig. So we've got 2 courses on Maven right now, and am just grateful for how well they've done and how they've been accepted and stuff. It's been a lot of fun.
Wow.
That's great.
So good.
So
So
good.
good. I've talked to tons of people who've gone through it, and like the world that you're enabling for them is incredible. You're just opening all these doors for people to do things that we could never have imagined, you know.
Yeah. So Tyler, tell me, what are you experiencing, you know, as this thing has been growing over time? First, congrats on it growing and it being a full-time job.
Congrats.
Anytime a side hustle turns into a full-time gig, that's you know, you're doing something right. What's been the nature of the kinds of people that are taking the courses? What problems they're coming in with, right? Like, are you seeing? I would love to hear if you feel that you're seeing an evolution in how people are coming in to learn AI, or you know, the nature of what they're doing with it.
100%. So like, as you all were describing your like communities and the kind of folks that are showing up in there, I was hearing a lot of the same sort of stuff. It's people who are still curious. Like, even at this stage of the game, it still feels like very early adopter type mindset. Our course is specifically targeted towards folks who are non-technical backgrounds. So just like everyday Joes and Janes that we want to come in to learn this stuff. And the whole thing is that we've built the content in a way that the running joke from one of our students is that they couldn't even spell AI if we spotted them 2 vowels, but yet in 4 weeks we can in 4 weeks you'll build an AI agent workflow. Like, you'll learn how to do all that no matter where you come in at. And it's taken a lot of work to like get all of that scaffolding, and I'll use Sarah's word, all the infrastructure in place to make that happen. But it's been really good. Is the type of people too, like, so it's we only currently offer our courses on the Maven platform. So there's a lot of product people on there. We've had loads of different people from the big tech firms. Like, we've literally had folks from Amazon, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft have come through and taken the course, and we kind of pinch ourselves and like, what the heck are y'all doing in here? You're supposed to be
right. You're the ones building this stuff, right?
I always think of the Armageddon quote with Bruce Willis when he walks into NASA, and then he's like, "Y'all are NASA, for God's sake! You're supposed to be sitting around making shit up." And anyway, but it's been great. So we have folks like that, and then we have people who are wanting to, you know, just they're curious. They want to learn about it. They're especially curious about AI agents. So that's what we're known for. That's what they come to us for. But we get a lot of people that are just like business owners and stuff too. So even in our current cohort in our foundations class, there's a gentleman that owns like a general contracting, like residential home building, remodeling, that sort of stuff that's come through. And we had an awesome conversation the other day. Like, he went from no technical background, like really not into this sort of stuff, to we start week 4 next week, and he's trying to build a quotation and estimation agentic workflow, which is really dope.
That's very dope. How are you Ann and I were talking earlier about, you know, she was saying that it's when people have that personal epiphany about AI when they're first getting started, they have to have that thing that's like, oh, I didn't know it could do that, where they get their eyes open. Because you mentioned you've got people coming in, what did you say? We'll spot you the 2 vowels and you still can't spell AI. That's brilliant. What are the things that you've put in place that get people over that hump of, this is going to be hard, I have to learn this, to that kind of wow moment of what's possible? How are you guys getting them there?
Yeah. Well, a couple of different ways. So we have, well, first off, like, it's AI Build Lab, because like, core to us, one of our core things is that you learn by building. I'm personally a very kinetic learner. Like, I'm going to get in here, I'm going to not know how to do any of this stuff. Like, exactly what Ann was describing about.
Her
I'm going to lose a weekend, like, learning how to break something and put it back together. Like, that's just how I work. So definitely put that into the course structure. In week 1, basically they'll fill out a questionnaire. Each of the students fills out a questionnaire that gets information about their personal background, their professional background, and their learning styles, like how they like to, learn and communicate with that. And then they add that into an agentic workflow that we have built already. And it gives them back little modifications that they'll go put into system instructions for an agent called the professor. And the professor is one of our students recently called it's called the broken professor, is how he was dubbing it. And it's this huge, bold personality, and it's on purpose so that like students recognize when this thing goes from this slightly annoying professor into this very personalized version built for them. And then each week they basically continue on and they learn new skills that stack on top.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it starts out as this tool outside of them. You get some data, you put it in it, and now it becomes kind of an extension of them, right? So it's this natural transition into they get to experience firsthand the difference between those two things. And because it's got their info in it, they can see themselves in it, right? They can see, oh, that does sound like me, or right, something.
Yeah, because the professor's like connected to all the coursework data, and then it knows more information about them from personal context. So everything from like some of the odd things that we have them fill out that people are always
what
like,
I wanted to find out.
Yeah. What's your astrological sign?
Oh, yeah.
What is your disc in Enneagram? Like your personality.
Of course,
profile.
you guys have that.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. And I'm like, there's a reason for it, right? Like the AI systems understand these archetypes, and though we're all unique people and everything, like 100%, but we slot into these buckets. So when this agent starts talking to them and it feels like it knows them much more, that's just like, holy crap. Like, it clicks for them. So I would say that. And then in week 2, we have a brand voice analysis workflow. So they chuck in, we call it a mega doc. They basically put together all sorts of examples of their writing or communication. It could literally be just a transcript from a Zoom meeting if it's labeled with their names, and it does a complete linguistic analysis of their communication style. And we always joke and say it feels like it's reading your tea leaves, and that's it. And it's not only looking at how you talk, but all sorts of stuff, because like they basically take the outputs from that and the analyses from that and plug that into the agents so that the agents start sounding like them now. Because ultimately, like what we're solving is they learn how to build an agentic workflow that can answer customer service emails. Like that's the capstone project. Everybody hates email, and all the big tools, they really fall short of approaching a problem and sounding like you when you write an email, like if you test them out of the box. And so we show them, how do you build that from ground zero, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is so good. So good.
It's a lot of fun. The Echo workflow is funny though, because it does like all sorts of different linguistic analysis. So you'll find out how many times you say so and like, and you do parenthetical asides and like all of this random stuff. But it's spot on. Like when my agent says y'all a lot, like it is the perfect amount of country for me personally, without it being a caricature version of me. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's one of those things where I fancy myself a communicator. I don't ask a question you don't want to know the answer to. Like I don't want Echo telling me how many times they say and ah and so, because I know it's a lot.
Okay, I have to ask on that note, have you used the new record feature inside ChatGPT?
We actually tried it the other day. So Sarah and I tried it just like in an internal meeting that we were having, and it kept airing out. So I haven't had a chance to go back and like debug it. It kept getting like a system error. I have mixed feelings about it. Like I want to try it. Have you guys tested it yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
No, because I have PC. I use a PC.
Oh, is it Mac only? I didn't know that. Okay.
Mhm,
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we still have like we personally use Fathom, so we still have Fathom, and then probably my favorite note-taking app that I use is Granola, because Granola will allow you to like take notes alongside of the meeting recorder. I just think that's really good.
Oh, and then it sort of puts it all together for you.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's smart. That's really smart. That's
Yeah.
really smart.
The bummer with that one is you don't get like video and stuff though. Like that's why I have Fathoms have to join so we get the video recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that you had mixed feelings about the OpenAI one. What is the mixed feeling there?
Well, I mean, we could go all the way down a tangent here. Like I love OpenAI, like ChatGPT. Like backstory for me, DALL-E is what sucked me into the AI world. Like my background was in print and all that sort of stuff. So I prefacing this with that I really like OpenAI, but here recently, some of the changes that have come out in the news about the stuff of how they're holding on to information and storing it.
They have to by law now.
By law.
But it goes against like what they've been telling us, though, right? So there's that. The fact that they have a lieutenant colonel in the Army now makes me a little bit nervous, and they changed their terms of service around that with everything that's been going on. I don't know. It just, as a company, they're making some interesting choices, and I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I'm trying not to judge too early. I'm trying to be patient and see what happens. But it just, security is always a major concern for me too, like on any of these platforms. So even in like what you were saying, like it already knows so much about me. My ChatGPT account, I've had it since they first launched it, and I use it all of the time. And now that it has the unlimited memory, it has so much information about me.
Yep.
So just to, it makes me nervous now of like, are they going to be good stewards of that information, or, you know, what's going to come of that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fascinating. So let's jump into our 3 questions. So I'll tee up the first one here. And you kind of hinted at it. You said your entry point was DALL-E, so I'd love to hear it. So what was the moment where you realized you had to go all in on AI, and then what's the journey been like since that moment?
Yeah. I would say 2 things, and they're actually not related to images. So I got into AI because of DALL-E, because we had a print company. So I knew what it was like to do all of the graphic design work in Photoshop and Illustrator, all that sort of stuff. And the idea that we would be able to just describe what we want and then have an image appear, which now, like what you guys were talking about earlier, not only can you do that, you can turn into a video and like turn into a live avatar. It's wild what you can do now.
Wild.
It really is. But I would say there's like 2 moments for me. The first one is right around the time that ChatGPT came out, like in the very early days. I got diagnosed with 2 relatively rare medical disorders. One of them is alpha-gal. It's like a tick-borne illness, and the other one is 𝗵𝘆 So it's like a blood disorder where my body stores iron at a toxic level. And it's a long story of like how I found that out, but a lot of doctors aren't even very familiar with either one of those. And the fact that I was able to talk to ChatGPT and even give it some of my medical records, I don't recommend doing that, especially not like through ChatGPT. I did it on the API layer, like in a secure way. But it was able to really help guide me through that time and like help me understand some very complex stuff when even my doctors couldn't do it at the moment, not all of them at least. So that was one big deal. The other one goes to chickens. So and knows, so I have a regenerative farming business called Chicken Karma. And we manufacture greenhouse. They look like greenhouses, is what they are. It's the business that my family's in. But it's like a mobile chicken coop that you drag around a field, and you put 100 meat chickens in there. You can do egg layers too. And I was fortunate enough, I got into an alpha testing group for OpenAI when they first came out with plugins and code interpreter and all that stuff back in the day. So this is like ancient history now, in AI land. But I got into the plugins one, and I got to connect ChatGPT to 𝗪𝗆, which that's like a math and science platform. And LLMs are terrible at doing math. And I guarantee you, I was the only one in there testing chicken math in OpenAI. And like, I basically gave it a really difficult math problem because I wanted to see if it could reason through it and solve it. Essentially, it was like, given 6 months and 1 acre of land in this chicken tractor, how many chickens can you raise? Basically, is like what it is. Because there's a lot of rules to it, though. Like it's a 12 by 12 pen. There's 100 chickens in there to have like the proper stocking density. You have to move it forward every day. It can't go over the same part of land like for like I think 60 days is what it is. To avoid like disease issues. Mm-hmm. It was like, how many laps can you run in this relay race and it actually work? And in 6 months, because I ultimately want to see how much money can you make with this chicken tractor on an acre in 6 months. And before you could connect it into a plugin, I mean, LLMs don't do math well, or they do it way better now, but back then, not at all.
Yeah.
It nailed it. Like it was just explaining it is difficult to explain like all the parameters of this problem, and it nailed it. It took me a while to get the prompt engineering right, but when it could like outsource the math part to 𝗪𝗆, have that do the calculations, bring that back, reason through it to do the next part of it and continue on it, I couldn't believe it. So it basically showed me the level of intelligence and like where this is going in these systems. And it's addicting. Like y'all were talking about it, like when people get into this stuff, it's like the AI sugar rush, and you just want to like push the limit of like, what else can we do with it?
What else can it do? Yeah, and I assume that would have been a thing where you would have had to brought in a third party consultant, or you would have had to somehow figure out the math yourself, right? Like, it was the alternative there, like either expensive or a really long runway, or would you have just avoided that altogether?
No, well, I mean, so my wife and I both have accounting degrees. So we sat down and figured out the actual number for this. But again, even like mapping that math problem out is kind of a pain in the butt. So it was just a really difficult problem that had we not had accounting degrees, yes, we would have had to call in a consulting team. It probably would have not been easy or cheap, because I doubt that we'd have to translate chicken speak into, a math problem to figure all that out. But it was, it just was amazing that it could solve a problem that I would consider is actually pretty difficult, but at the same time, it was very practical. Like there's not a lot of crossover in those two industries that much, which is why I think it raised some eyebrows in that alpha trial from OpenAI and from 𝗪𝗆, both of them. They were like, it just was
chicken math.
Not many people come from where I come from and are doing those sorts of like tests in AI, and I was very early. Yeah.
And then what's been the journey since then, right? What's been the experience so you have two fairly profound moments there, and then were you all in at that point? Like, what's been that journey from then to where you are now?
Yeah. It's been an awesome last several years. Like it really changed the trajectory of my life. Like I was very fortunate to do a mentorship or a fellowship program underneath Rachel Woods that Ann mentioned earlier. And that really, I was like doing that and even doing client work in the early days. I'm like, well, this is what I'm doing now. This is what I'm going to do for the like foreseeable, but probably for the rest of my life, honestly. Which is what we've been doing. So we've been going out and we were doing client work for businesses of all different shapes and sizes. We've worked with folks here locally that are small mom and pop shops, all the way to like Fortune 50 companies and everything in between, which I love that. I love solving problems. It's just fun for me to like go in and understand a business problem and how do we apply AI to help solve that. It's just not scalable. So that's the problem on that. It's not scalable. It's difficult to scale, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yep.
And when we fell into this education gig, that's been amazing, because it's one of the big things for us. And Ann knows this, is we're huge on ethics and bringing in more folks and more diverse folks into the AI space. I just don't say that out of like being cliche about it. We literally mean that. And this gives us a way to do that and leverage to like do so much more than what we were doing, just like going and helping companies one at a time. Because now it's like all these people that are learning from us, we get to pour into them, and it just helps it happen so much faster.
Just amazing. Just amazing.
It's like a family tree. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this, but I've talked to a few of us who met one another in AIX, and people starting to refer to our group as the class of 23.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Love it. Yeah, that was the joke. So one of our friends, Vanessa, the other day, she's in AI Build Lab, and she was joking about Gigawatt. So, Ann, do you remember Gigawatt, the AI prompt engineering agent back in the day? So Gigawatt, we give that away, like some of the system instructions for the different versions of it in class. And she was talking about the family tree of AI agents that Gigawatt has built out. It was pretty funny. So
absolutely. So question number 2 is, from your vantage point, doing what you do, what AI trends are you paying attention to?
That's a problem. There's so many to pay attention to, right?
Oh, it's so true.
I'd say like the 2 big ones that I focus most of my time on these days are AI agents, just how to build them, the latest frameworks and tools to plug in and ship those, because we're constantly testing and trying to teach to show folks, how do you go from an assistant to an agent, and how do you build an agent that actually knows how to do things the way that you would want to do them, versus like a lot of these off-the-shelf agents that are generally good, because when they're building those products, they have to serve like a wide audience. Right. But we're wanting to teach folks, how do you build one that feels like an actual team member that you stood up and are giving a bigger degree of autonomy to over time. And that's done through evals and evaluations, which is the other trend, if you want to call it that is constantly paying attention to and trying to figure out how to make those easier and better and faster. And evaluations are basically just quality control of the system's output, to put it really simply.
Right.
Are you guys going to teach people how to be agent bosses? Because somebody's gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody knows how to be an agent boss, and the people left standing are going to be really good agent bosses. And I don't even know what skills you need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely where I imagine the way that things are right now, that's what the future is going to look like. You're going to be running teams of agents that are like your little helpers. But yeah, that's what we're trying to teach folks. And a lot of it is connecting all the agents into all the different types of information they're going to need to access to actually be good, and do that in a secure way. But then even when you connect them, you have to kind of also teach them what your business processes are, like when they might reason through one thing or another to come up with an answer. So it's a learning curve for sure, but I think more and more people are picking it up, because we liken it a lot to, I hired a new team member and I brought them on. Like, you don't just, if it's a new customer service rep, we're not just letting them, fire off responses to every single message on day one. It's like this whole training process, which is the same thing you're doing with an agent.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So let me dig into the third question here, and so this one, I love this question, and I'm excited to get your take on it. So what does AI readiness mean to you? And then for someone just getting started with AI, what's your advice?
Number one, like, advice is just start in it. Just try it in some way. If so many options for tools, especially when you're first starting. If you, like, one of the tools that we tell every business that we work with, and personally it makes a lot of sense too, is start recording yourself. Like, record all your meetings, use some sort of AI note taker. I use the voice memos app a ton on my phone just to brain dump about things, just to capture my idea or thought process or whatever, just to be able to chuck it into, I have like an AI second brain system that I like. That way it's helping me have like total recall and remember things that I just normally would forget for sure. So I think folks like building that muscle of just not only using the tools, but in a way that you're gonna, like what you were saying earlier, you get to that aha moment and they feel more personalized to you, is you have to have some sort of a method for explaining to these tools, what are you into? Like, what are you thinking about? So I save like websites and news articles, TikTok videos, all that stuff. Instead of me just saving them on the platform anymore, I ship them to Notion. Like I have a system set up to do that, and it ends up into my second brain system, so it knows about me. The readiness thing is, again, I think it's just, you have to get into it. Like these tools are going to need you to learn a new set of skills, and it's really not as complicated as you think it is. It looks a whole lot more intimidating. And even like what you were describing earlier, and like when you're talking about building video games, there's still the sense of like gatekeeping a little bit, and people who block it to want to make it feel like it's like way more complicated than it is. But I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Sarah is a non-technical founder as well. She does this at a high level. Like we've had so many people at different ages too. Like we've had a lot of seniors come through our course. Surprisingly, I'm like, good on you all for still having that curiosity. Like I want to be like you when we grow up. Are learning this stuff. So I think it's just giving yourself the grace to go try something new and chase your curiosity there.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
I think that's really
curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Let me switch this up here. Yeah, that was really awesome. I one of the things that that I hear a lot from people who are intimidated with AI is it's just that phrase, oh, I'm not technical. Like the hand goes up and they're just like, I don't, whatever you're saying, I know that's not me. I can't do that because I'm not technical. And you know what you just described is you don't have to be. And the way Anne described her game, it was like, I want cute, what was it? Cute animals giving high fives. Like that was the technical requirement for your game. Like it's just amazing. So
what was your other one? It was like you look like you smell nice or something like that.
Yeah, you look like you I bet you smell good.
That's what it was. Yeah.
What is the technical requirement for this game, man? It's got to say nice things to people.
Well, you know, I know we're wrapping up, but I wanted to share with you guys that like that mentality, we ran our social set. So on Saturdays we get together for 2 hours with women every weekend, and we ran all those transcripts through ChatGPT to get a sense of how people talk about themselves. We had 7 pages of, I'm not technical, I am behind everybody, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm, you know, like it was unreal, because these people are leading AI initiatives at work. They're builders, they're consultants, but it's the mindset that we all, and Kyle convinced us all about, I don't know, a year and a half ago, you fixed us all and got us to stop apologizing for this.
Everyone got it. I'm sorry, but I'm not good at this. Enough.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, enough. And now we're like, I feel like we're in another wave right now of people who are coming into it for the first time and who've like just heard about custom GPTs for the first time. And it's kind of, there's another wave of, well, I'm not good enough to do this. And it's like, there's a thread there of, like you said, Tyler, chasing your curiosity. If you can do that, it opens up all the doors.
It's the core requirement. We could call them the neo-apologists.
The neo-apologists. Yes. Yes.
I think the whole thing of like imposter syndrome too, like that's something we all talked about a ton in the AI exchange. Like when I first got in there, all the live sessions I would go to, I had mic off, camera off. I'm like, they're saying all these words and concepts I don't know about. I don't feel like I should be in this room, but I just kept coming back and listening. And once you get past the jargon and stuff, it's you can make some really big strides. That's what we try and tell our folks, is that, you know, it's a safe space. You're gonna have these moments. Like I even have these moments still of like getting into this stuff. And part of it is, I think, also comes from, we're working with these tools that there's not a lot of like roadmaps. There's not a lot of people who have done this sort of stuff before for you to look at. And so I think that seeds doubt in you sometimes of like, do I even know what the heck I'm doing? Well, nobody knows what the heck they're doing. We're all figuring it out still. So just, that's what I'm saying. Give yourself the grace and chase your curiosity there for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this was absolutely awesome, Tyler. Thank you for your time. And
thank you, Tyler.
For a bit after, and we can chat. But this is just awesome. Really appreciate you coming and sharing your wisdom, because it's deep.
It's very deep.
Having me. It was awesome having y'all.
Absolutely.
Or having y'all. Lord, y'all having me. My goodness. My brain.
It's chicken math.
Chicken math. That's it. That's it.
It's chicken math.
All right. See you later.